have no idea why I started playing that. And I just turned on the camera and somehow, well, okay. Fluky, freaky. How did that song get in my head? It's Friday, September 18th, I think. Yeah, that's what the calendars say. And boy, I've been looking at a lot of interesting things on the forum, and another song kind of ran through my head. A couple of my students asked me about. Let me see if I. Oh shoot! Let me think about this. So I've had a couple of people ask me about early morning rain lately, and I thought, we probably have a lesson up on that. But somebody was asking me about doing like a nice finger picking version or something. In fact, I think it was Sandy. But I went back and I looked, and we do have a lesson on it, and it's really just a strumming thing because that's how Gordon Lightfoot did it. It was just in a drop D tuning, really simple, really basic. And I thought, wow, but and in a live version that I watched, he was introducing it and saying, this is the song that kind of opened up the musical doors for him because, of course, Peter, Paul, and Mary did it. And I thought, oh, of course, that's how most people would have heard it first. So I went back and listened to their version. And it was a fast finger picking thing that Paul Stuckey, well, the two guys were playing. Peter you couldn't really see what Peter was playing. His guitar was kind of behind Paul's, but Paul's doing a really normal kind of what I would call generic finger picking. But they made the progression much more interesting. Do 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 do. Of course, really cool harmony that they did between some echoey things and just some three-part things. So if anybody would like to let me know if you want me to do a lesson on Peter, Paul, and Mary's version of Early Morning Rain. I'm sure everybody's going to say yes, but you could come in and say, no, your time could be way better spent doing something. Get to work on that Steve Howe thing. Let's not talk about that. But I did see something really interesting on the forum that some good, I guess that's what I'm going to talk about here first, is things on the forum before I get into last week and next week, or this week and next week. Is next Saturday like tomorrow, or is it the Saturday after tomorrow? Is that this Saturday? Okay, stop pondering and philosophizing. Or what am I worried about there? It's semantics maybe? Do not wander off. I'll get back here. So there was a good request I saw for a Mississippi John Hurt song, Lewis Collins, which I considered doing many years ago. Then we got some Mississippi John Hurt songs, and it fell off the radar because a lot of times my goal is get enough songs from to have a good little library and maybe put out a pack of that person, and then go off onto something else. So anyway, keep the recommendations coming because I really do look at all of them and consider them. Matter of fact, I gotta save this for later because something is coming up. But more on that when we talk about next week. Came from the forum though, and I think the last thing I want to talk about. So keep your eyes on the forum and keep bringing in suggestions there. But what else did I want to say? I appreciate a quick word to the KOA people that we are getting back on that. I'm glad somebody finally got back to me in what you're looking for in the KOA world. So Tim, I will be back in touch very soon. And the last, like, kind of big piece of firm advice is today's the day we should have been wrapping up IGC 2020. Instead, we're planning on April 19th right now. So I'll get that all up on the IGC site over the next few days, I hope. And if anybody's thinking of joining us right now, it will be April 19th, Monday through Friday. And with Plan B being September 13th. So if people are still not comfortable traveling and hanging out in groups in April, in maybe February or March, we'll make a decision to push it back a little bit. So are we still live in here? Yeah, okay. I think that's it that I want to, in the little opening thing here, I'll come back with a recap of what happened this week. Such a spooky chord. So this week, I feel like I'm kind of knocking off some, and more to this about next week too. Getting some things together that have been on my to-do list for a long time. Here's another one. I should have brought this up in the first segment. I'm thinking about getting back to some of my old fingerpicking arrangements. I don't know, and I think we have enough rock and roll song. Never. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about we finally got to Because, the solo version, and that sort of got inspired because of Mickey's upload a couple of weeks ago. And then Max brought us Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, another one that we've got. And now we got to get to Mad Mad World somewhere down the line too, so that we at least have a couple of songs of theirs. But we'll see what happens there. And Vanessa brought us a Coldplay tune, Green Eyes. I hope some of you had a chance to check it out. It's only been up for like a short time. Middle of Friday, shortly just before the news, I think is what happened here. And then we had a couple of other packs of we've closed the door on Neil Young for a little while with volumes 7 and 8, including I forget which way I numbered them, but 8 was nothing but old Buffalo Springfield tunes. Burned and Flying on the Ground is Wrong and Everybody Out of My Mind. So okay, there we go. We have 8 5-packs of Neil Young now. No more Neil Young songs for a while. And but the really big news is I want to thank Bob McAlpine for taking a look at Neal's upload, Neal Conroy's. Of Neal's version of Living for the City, and Bob put some really good. I hope all of our members who can take a look at the reviews take a look at what Bob had to say with regard to Neal's take on Living for the City. And I guess I want to put in another plug for more stuff in the review channel, because that's this is one of the things I really love to do is take a look at what you're working on and seeing what I can do to fix it up. So, okay, I'll be back with some really big news about some cool things coming next week. I mean, I'm really pumped about next week's lessons, so don't go away. What do you think? That's as much of it as I'm going to play. I've only seen the sneak preview on this. Coming up next week, what we have are, well, we got some of the usual stuff, and then we got some really exciting stuff. That is one of them. A new lesson from Bob McAlpine on Come Together. Solo version. in drop D tuning, which I just left but that's how he opens it up, and then goes into playing the melody and keeping all that stuff going. Nice little percussive things in there. And anyway, so I'm really jazzed about that. I want to thank Bob in advance for putting in the time to do that. You guys are going to love it. And I hope he can stick to one lesson a month plan, and each one I feel like is going to be a blockbuster. So that's really cool. Let's see what else is happening next week. Vanessa will be bringing us another Coldplay tune. Here's the other hint. I started playing this a little while ago. Did I get that back up? A little sharp, huh? It is not Diamonds and Rust. Very similar, right though? Recognize that one? Paul Weller. So this was a request from a few weeks ago on the forum. So that is coming up. You Do Something to Me. Really cool song that one of my students kind of introduced me to a couple of years ago, actually. It was one of the first ones he was working on when he started taking lessons from me. And, when I mentioned to him like a month ago or something that people are now asking about a Paul Weller song, in particular that one, he was jazzed. So, okay, so that is what's coming up. And the one I've been promising forever. Finally knocking another one off the list. At the beginning of the year when I was working on, I had a pile of about 10 lessons that were all at some stage of development, I guess. And two Jim Croce ones were there because they're ones I've been meaning to finish, but they are big production ones because we've got two guitar parts in there, of course. Maury's part done with a capo up there. Let's see if I can do this without, of course. So that's how Maury's part is going to go. So it's all broken down, tablature for both parts. So anybody who's been holding out or waiting for Time in a Bottle, it'll be live next week. And so that stack of 10, I'm down to 1 now. Now I interspersed some other lessons, some kind of things because of some requests and a few other things. Snuck up some John Prine songs in there and a few others. But my stack of 10 is down to now. Well, it's actually down to half because I'm not even going to tell you more about that. But I got out one version of one of the big projects I was working on, and now I have the advanced version is still sort of under construction. So that's it as far as like the new songs for next week. And if anybody puts up some stuff for review, we'll get the reviews up. And what are next week's packs? Oh, going back into Beatles. This is going to be interesting because these are all going to be songs that were not in packs before. We have like 3 10-packs of Beatles tunes and 4 5-packs. So we already have 50 Beatles songs in packs. And we have about another 25 floating around. And so the 2 that are coming out next week, and in the interest of, to be consistent with the packs that came out this week, Neil Young Volume 7 and 8, next week's packs are going to be Beatles Remastered Volumes 7 and 8, ultra rare tracks, unsurpassed masters. Hopefully, if you've seen any of those albums, maybe I'll have to get out my ultra rare tracks CDs again. I think I've shown them here before, but anyway, so Volume 7 will be a bunch of lessons from Max and kind of rockin' tunes back in the USSR. Dig a Pony, Helter Skelter, what else is in there? Hey Bulldog and Don't Let Me Down. And then Volume 8 will have a couple of other Max's tunes mixed in with some of mine. And Your Bird Can Sing, Don't Bother Me, Happy Just to Dance With You, You Won't See Me, the most recent one, and Nowhere Man. So a couple of Beatles 5-packs coming out next week. And in the meantime, if you want to hear any, if you want me to do lessons on some of my arrangements from either the Beatles album or Yesterday's News, that's where, when I played this, right? Everybody knows this is Chattanooga Choo Choo, right? Or some people are like too young. Oh, I should have thought about this. I don't know if I can remember it. The whole thing. I knew I could get through the first line. Let's see what happens. Ending now. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to go practice that and think about doing a lesson on it in a few weeks if anybody seems interested. Chattanooga Choo Choo. So this is pretty weird. I'm not sure why these two songs showed up today. The one I started with, Someday Soon, and then Chattanooga. Boy, some days just the walk through time. There's no accounting for it. Okay, I'll be back next week, and I'm looking forward to your reactions to some of the lessons you're going to see next week, because they are going to be really cool. So long.